Hello, Brave Awakened Ones. QV here. Thank you for joining me on my channel, Higher Realm Holistics. You can visit my website, higherrealmholistics.com, if you're interested in purchasing my books, webinars, merch, Lady V's teas, and spiritual counseling guidance sessions for light workers. Thank you. Namaste. Good day, Brave Awakened Ones. QV here. It is the 5th of January, 2021. It's like almost 9 o'clock in the morning here on the East Coast, Miami Beach area. This video is going to be in like 3 segments. I'm putting it all together because I did a recording early this morning, like around 5 a.m. I was getting up from a activation and downloads, major activation and embodiment of my White Queen archetype. So I'm going to cover the whole archetype thing in the last segment of this video. The middle segment will be what I did. I was talking from the activation and downloads I was receiving between, I think it was like before even midnight till 5 a.m. And then I did the recording and I thought I was going to get up, but then I went back under again. So between like 5:30 or so to like 7 something, I received even another activation about the cosmic egg, which I didn't know too much about. Like I said, I stay in my lane. When I say stay in your lane, I'm not trying to be obnoxious or trying to put myself above anybody. I stay in my lane. I do not go poking around in anything that is not presented to me by source, saying, here, my oversoul, of course, which is directly connected to source, saying, here, it is time for you to embody this. It is time for you to know this. I never stick my nose. So I've mentioned this to my Patreons, I get so many things. Hey, look into this, do that. You should do a video on this, da, da, da. And I don't respond, or I say no sometimes and people get very angry. It's calmed down. I've gotten people who just went off on me because I wouldn't cover topics they wanted me to cover. It's because I stay in my lane. And I understand that ascension is not a competition. Ascension is a constant evolving thing. Just because we, as Rainbow Light Warriors, completed the Rainbow Light Bridge, that's just a phase that we completed. We still have things in the micro, is the next phase. And then in the macro, we completed in the micro, then the macro. Okay, as within, so it is without. As it is above, so it is below. So that's the way it works. We do it in the ethereal and manifest in the material. We do it in the micro, in our little world, and then we expand it out, connecting to the collective in the macro. So that's the way it works. So that's what I mean by I stay in my lane, and I strongly suggest you stay in your lane, because it's easy to get carried away and overly excited and be like, I want to do what you do. Why won't you tell me? Blah, blah, blah. Chill. I don't want to bear anyone else's cross, as well as you have no idea what I've been through to bear my cross to get to the point that I'm in right now. So I'm going to do these 3 segments. Okay, so we're going to start off with the Schumann and what's going on cosmically out there, because it's very important to what's going on in here. As it is above, so it is below, right? This is very physical. Ascension is very physical right now. Now, what happened yesterday, day before yesterday, and today is a bit mishmash, very confusing to a lot of folks, because going on a couple of my favorite channels who talk about this cosmic stuff, and straight up, they are normies, but good normies, good-hearted normies, but they don't understand that they're not quite making the connection because they're not there. Again, it's about staying in your lane. They're just not there. They're not light workers. So it's not meant for them to make that connection and understanding. So by no means am I trying to demean anybody by calling them a normie or a muggle, a non-magical folk. you know, by no means whatsoever. It's just a way of identifying, you know, as a point of reference, okay? Because there is a very distinct difference, all right? And anyone trying to deny that, that's a you problem, seriously. And good luck next ascension, because you ain't going to make this one if you can't understand that by now. So people are looking at, I hate this thing. People are looking at the Schumann because there are two different models. There's the Italian model and there's the Russian model. And yes, I know it's mostly local, but you have to understand, it's like it is monitoring that region, but it is a great indicator for what's going on throughout the earth. All right. So I have to bring it up this way. I take a snapshot on one of my devices and send it to my laptop so I could do this because on my laptop and other devices, I'm blocked from going to certain channels, from going to Twitter, totally locked out. But then it's not that I could log in to those social media platforms and those groups that I'm a part of. It's for some reason, whatever, on other devices I can. Not that I can log on, but I can go in a backdoor way, whatever. And thank you, everyone. I've had so many people offer me their social media handles. I don't want to get you guys in trouble, and it's okay. I'm not meant to be tweeting. And hey, I asked, how do I get in? And I'm shown. So here we go. I get what I got to get. You know what I mean? So this is a snapshot, a screenshot I took of this is the Schumann chart, as you could see, for the January 3rd, 2021, the 4th, and the 5th. Hold on, it's a bit difficult. Okay, it's trying to get it. Well, you can see right here, right? You see right here, these three pillars, indicators. Now, what a normie's looking at this and they're thinking, I don't see anything, nothing's going on. I look at this, I'm like, oh, what are they trying to hide? There's plenty going on. And as a light worker grounding in this energy, yesterday, I sure as heck felt it. I was in tears. I was like, oh my God, here we go again. And it's ramped up ever since that few days ago when that rather large CME popped off the sun heading straight in our direction. Just because you're looking at these charts and it's like, oh, I don't see anything, does not mean the energy is not coming in. There's always a way to find out what's going on. And I'm going to show you what I found out. Again, I'm not an expert. I'm a novice. I've always been into this stuff, took classes in college and just nerd stuff. And now, you know, since 2019, I was told to put it together for the ascension and awakening purposes. So everything, you know, you could have taken it 20 years ago and then all of a sudden it's handy. So here we go. You see these three markers here, these three pillars. What does it look like to you guys? Seriously. Does it look like nothing's happening? Looks like plenty's happening to me. Look at this. It looks very purposeful, very, very, very purposeful. Even the spacing is exact. Doom, 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 three pulses of energy coming in. Very distinct, very exact. It's right in your face. All right. Now, I just looked at all this today because I've been working. And when I work 14, 15, 16-hour shifts in trauma, in anesthesia, part of the anesthesia team. So I have no breaks. I can't breathe. I hardly could move by the time I get home. I'm lucky to make it to my car. So and I'm doing all that at work and I'm feeling all these energies. So here's the three. And it's very connected to those CMEs. And it was more than one that popped off the other day. Okay. It was a few, like 2 or 3. So your normie cosmetologist is looking at this and saying, I don't see anything. Not cosmetologist, cosmologist is looking at this saying, I don't see anything. Okay. I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh yeah, here they go. They're trying to hide the energies, but it's very distinct. You see it very clearly right here. Came in three pulses, very high pulses. Okay, and that was the third, the fourth, and this is the fifth. Remember, this is UTC time. This is the Russian model. Now, I went and did a Google search, today's Schumann, right? And disclosurenews.it, which is Italy, when you're over here, it says 1200, right? I'm like, oh, okay. This explains a lot. This is updated January 5th, 1200. But then when I go on it for today, January 5th, it says power 300 for today. But when you look at the chart here, you could tell it's been raging. The Schumann has been off the charts. And yes, it's regional. So it's not showing up in the Russian model, so they say. But when you look at it, you could see signatures of it showing up. See? You see the signatures. You can't say you don't. And then I went elsewhere. And yes, yesterday on the 4th, 500. Here we go again. And look at the spacing. This was yesterday, today. And they said it went as high as 1200. Now I'm going to put it all together with what's going on in the cosmos. And I'm going to show it's a very high probability. I'm going to straight up say, yeah, stuff was popping off, okay? Earth absorbed some major energy yesterday. I felt it. I was in tears in the bedroom. I couldn't even function. I had to function. You know, I didn't have a choice. Again, Russian model. People saying it's quiet, nothing going on, but look, the signatures are right there. Very distinct. Boom, boom, boom. Showing up the different realms, right? The 3D, the 4D, the 5D. Showing it all up, bright, right in your face. And here's the Italian model. Yesterday, 500. Today, it's saying 300. Now, Disclosure News, they show the Russian model, they show the Italian model. This time they're showing the Italian model. Look at that spike, 300. Look at all this. It's from the other day. Let's blow it up. Oops. See if I can blow it up some more. You see the times. It's kind of difficult to see, but you see it clearly right here. Oh God, and I'm feeling it again. I'm getting palpitations, feeling short of breath like crazy and hot, prickly. All right, we see it right here in our face. Now to go with what's going on out there. We could see Earth's shields. Earth magnetic field is really, really low. And when it's extremely low like that, it allows things to come in rather strong. Now, Earth is a living, breathing being. Okay? Earth is a living, breathing being. All the planets, all the cosmic beings, they're living, breathing beings. Okay? And Earth lowers her shields to allow this energy in, to allow this energy in. That's part of ascension and awakening. That is how we get our downloads. That is how we ground in the energy. As we ascend, Earth ascends. As Earth ascends, we ascend. Unless you're descending, which I hope you have this year, 2021, to get your act together to ascend. Trust me, I have my own family I'm, trying to hold space for. So Earth lowered her shields. Why did Earth lower her shields? To receive this hit right here. This is Ace Real Time solar winds. And in the video, in part 2 that I'll be attaching to this, I said I felt like it was like a wind energy coming through me. It was like this spiraling wind energy, like a tornado, just whoosh. I could almost hear it whooshing through me yesterday. while I was at work, dealing with trauma patients, dealing with a poor child who lost like his teeth, who was autistic, screaming his head off. Lord have mercy. But I pulled it through, man. I was the only one who was able to comfort that child. So look at this. Look at this spike. Look at this spike in the solar wind energy that came pushing in. Right there. I bet you that was the 1200 that hit, that made the, that pushed the Schumann to 1200. I bet you this was the spike, the solar wind spike that came in real quick, like a rushing wind, like a tornado, here and gone yesterday. I bet you it corresponds with the 1200 spike in the Schumann. Bet your bottom dollar, because I felt that thing like nobody's business. Does everyone feel it? No. I still have people freaking out and upset saying, why don't I feel it? How do I feel it? Trust me, you don't want to feel it while you're working or while you're doing something. Trust me. Okay? Again, you stay in your lane. I don't sit there and saying, oh, why don't I? Let me feel it. That shows real spiritual immaturity. If you feel something, I might not feel it because I'm not programmed to receive that energy and ground it. Really, there are plenty of people like, oh, I felt this. I was like, no, I didn't feel it, but that's really cool. So what'd you get from it? What were the codes attached to it? Are we supposed to do anything with that energy? Or anyone else, So that's how you have to understand. The world would be a pretty boring place. Ascension would go nowhere if everyone was programmed to do the exact same thing. It's like having a room filled with refrigerators, but you have no stove to cook on, Big difference. So this spike right here, Earth lowered her shields. Look how low, right? To receive this. Okay, I don't know why that happened. Maybe something updated. Let's see. I need something update? No. Alrighty. So that's the correlation I want to make. Okay, now I'm going to play part 2 now. Good morning, brave awakened ones. QV here. It is January 5th, 2021. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, and I just completed. I'm a bit worn out and just trying to catch my bearings right now, get my bearings right now. I just completely embodied and grounded one of my archetypes. That's the way it's coming through to me. It says, I am your archetype. And I knew this was one of my archetypes, but I did not know that she was going to be completely grounded into earth. But the vibrations of earth is high enough that she is now grounded. Now, the first archetype of myself that I grounded was Veronica Blu-ray. Now, the second archetype, I was told I have 3 archetypes. My second archetype is the White Queen. I have done work as the White Queen in the ethereal before. I did not know she was going to be grounded. So this is my third archetype, the White Queen. As a master, we have archetypes. This is something. It's new, quote unquote, to me, but it's not new to me. Like, I've known about it for about a year now. No, it's not everybody that has archetypes. You have to reach the master level before your archetypes come together. It's a bit complicated. Literally, I don't have the words to explain it. I see it, I know it, but I can't really put it together. Maybe later I can, because I'm trying to still put it into words, this whole thing. So the White Queen archetype, I know I've spoken about her in 2019. I don't know if that video is even still up. Like I said, my videos from 2018, majority of them are gone. 2019, the majority are gone. Some of 2020 are gone. They're just wiped out completely. So my White Queen archetype, been grounding her all day, and there was this big solar energy. It was like the solar wind energy that was whipping through me. My whole body was jerking all over the place. Surprised I didn't fall off the bed. So her energy was coming through along with this solar energy. So I'm sure it's going to show up in the Schumann, or it's going to show up in solaring. It'll show up in the solar weather. I'll check it out when I feel like getting up out of bed. The energy started yesterday at work, where I had an extreme massive headache. It was third eye energy headache that caused major vibrating in my third eye region the majority of the day. I even had to take some headache medicine that quieted it a little bit, enough for me to function at work. You guys know I work trauma and anesthesia. So imagine that. People's life, I gotta be correct. I have to be able to see. It's almost like going on instinct when those things happen and I'm at work. Because I'm like, okay, God, how do you have me here doing this job in a life and death situation for folks? And I'm having to deal with these energies. It's quite upsetting for me to do both, especially when I'm dealing with adults and children, infants. So it's like, very difficult. So it really upset me yesterday having to do both, but I had to deal with it. And I was just told, my oversoul said, it's just going to make you stronger. Everything else will just become easy breezy to you, having to do all this at the same time. I'm like, ugh, really? I'm not buying it. Wasn't a happy camper. So that energy started coming through, and then I decided to check the Schumann. It was 500. I'm like, oh, okay, so you're really going to try to put me to my knees today. So I got home, actually managed to do yoga for a good 10 minutes, and then immediately got knocked out. And then this energy started coming through. I don't know. Maybe it was before or after midnight. I don't know. But I know it lasted up until almost 5 this morning. And I was shown it coming through the central sun, through our sun, which is, again, a portal. Functions like a portal for the energy, through the central sun, for the awakening and the ascension of this solar system. Plus, we're dealing with all the photon belt energy, which is there. It's also called the photon ribbon, people. It's for real. For those who want to doubt it, look it up. So my archetype of the White Queen has to come here on Earth now, and she is fully here and embodied in me. And I was wondering, I was like, okay, why? My body was going through all this of grounding her in. I was like, why? And then I was told, the Queen again, the Queen goes before the King. The Queen comes before the King. And I was told she is here because she has to be here to secure everything for the 10th of January, so that the Queen must go before the King,
to secure everything so that so then he is announced, so his reign is announced for the 10th of January 2021. And we know who the king is. So that is that. And then I was told that the great white knights will rise for the 20th to support the king throughout the lands. That means over the world. And I saw the flag of Ireland. I was like, oh, how interesting. And then I saw a bunch of these white knight figures on these white horses, and the flag of Ireland was in front of them. So I take it the Irish are going to rise to support Trump, to support POTUS on the 20th. On or before, I don't know, but I think it's on the 20th, to support him throughout the lands, throughout the world, especially to support him in the Western Hemisphere. They're going to be the ones to rise to support him in the Western Hemisphere. And guys, don't get it twisted. You know, I know people are like, oh, but he's not a king. So you're trying to say dictatorship, miss me with that nonsense. Please miss me with that. It has not worked for the past 2 years. I have not bothered. Okay. I give 0 fucks. Okay. If you haven't noticed now, you're wasting your breath. But that's narcissistic energy. Y'all don't stop until you're made to stop. I don't care enough to stop you. You will fall to your own demise. Okay. The enemy is destroying itself. It's going to keep destroying itself until it's completely obliterated. Thank goodness. So, all right. And with that, it's in the micro and the macro. So for my personal self, major changes, she brings these major changes also, which I am so happy. I hope that means that soon I'll no longer have to work that other job, the regular job in the hospital, and be able to focus on my number 22 position, building my personal life first, and then the micro first, and then the macro. I hope it's time for that because I am exhausted. To wrap up this entire war, exhale. It's all good. All right. Love y'all. Bye.
Okay, great, brave, awakened ones. Now, I'm going to explain, this is part 3, and I'm going to dig deeper into the activation that I received. It's not just an activation, but an embodiment. It's an embodiment of another aspect of myself. From the very beginning of my ascension, I was shown the triple goddess. When she first came to me, I didn't even know who she was. In fact, I was on call. It was like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I was in the parking garage at the hospital, and I was about to go out of my car. And the next thing I knew, she overpowered me, overwhelmed me, and knocked me out. And I thought I was out for hours. When I came up out of it, I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God, oh my God. If anyone has been on call, you know you have 30 minutes to get there. So by the time I woke up, it was the exact same time that I pulled into the garage. So that was like, whoa. And that was like the beginning. That was closer to the beginning of my ascension. So it was like a year and a half in, almost 2 years in. But I always had a connection with the triple goddess since I was a child. I always had her image. I would always draw the triple goddess symbols. Just never really looked into it, except the Wiccan end of it. But then I came to a full understanding when she came to me. The triple goddess represents the primal goddess, the primal divine feminine energy. The very first, when she came to me and showed me how Source Creator separated into the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and then the divine feminine separated into the triple goddess. And I was I'm having chills right now. I was greeted by the maiden, the mother, and the crone, and each of her aspects introduced herself to me. Now, all of us, we will, when we get to our master state, our master stage as evolving evolving souls, we will eventually get to the point where we embody the aspects of the primal force. And so my embodiment, I will share with you what each one of her looks like. So woohoo, I made it to the point where I master this. So let's get to it. And then I'll explain how it works into everything going on now. So you have the maiden, the mother, and the crone. Now the maiden part of me, of the triple goddess, here's another example right here. You have Saraswati, Pravati, and Lakshmi, which are parts of my oversoul actually on top of that. And they're like the Hindu version. They're the primal, the Mula Prakriti, the Mula Prakrita. I know I'm not saying it properly. The cosmic mother. So each religion, each belief has their own representation of the triple goddess. Okay, so don't get stuck on the imagery. It's the understanding. Now, looking at the mother right here, she is always shown pregnant. This energy right here, I was told when I went under between 5:30 and 7:30, is the cosmic egg energy. The cosmic egg energy is the creation energy, the full creation force energy that the divine feminine embodies. Okay, so, and yes, it is a divine feminine energy. Can divine masculines create? If you are presenting as a male, as a physical male, you can create, but they are specific roles. Okay, it's like comparing a washing machine and a dryer. They may look similar, but the inner workings are different. It's very connected to what you can do. So mismute that nonsense. Nothing pisses me off more than that crap. Go look into hermetics, okay? So this is the divine seed. Well, it's more than a seed, the cosmic egg. The cosmic egg holds all of the energy of creation within, which is why the dark ones are trying to remove the womb from the female form and put it outside the female form, or stick it inside a male body, because it is the bastardization. It's trying to undo nature, undo God, which is not going to happen. They could try, but it'll never happen. It's the runaway ego. It's the runaway, narcissistic energy that thinks it could rule everything. It's purely satanic. It's purely Luciferian. So here's another representation of the triple goddess, which I really, really relate to, because my maiden form is very warrior. In fact, in my old job, the guys there, they used to, when Wonder Woman came out, they used to call me Diana, which really weirded me out, because I would hear that name all the time in meditation when the triple goddess would come to me. She would refer to me as Diana, and I never understood why. And then I saw Wonder Woman. I said, oh, that's really cool. I always loved Wonder Woman. I was her for Halloween a few times. But then when people at work started, the guys, actually not the women, but the guys, they would call me Diana. Whenever they wanted something done and they couldn't handle it, meaning, go up against the bosses, go up against the doctors, like they didn't want to participate in a procedure, they didn't want the techs, the surgical techs, they didn't want to participate in a procedure or the other guy's doing other things, they'd be like, hey, Diana, come take them down for us. And, I have no fear. It's that fearless energy. It's almost like the naivety of youth, basically. And this is what she looks like. That's what she looks like. I was shown this image and I found it. And it's very connected to when I was doing that whole magic sword. You guys remember being the embodiment of that magic sword to ground in the divine Sophia Christos energy, which is very connected to the triple goddess energy, the primal goddess energy. And the energy I was grounding in was the maiden energy. And it manifested in the heavens, in the ethereals, where I was doing all of the ethereal fighting, the work, the light warrior work, and also on earth, all the light warrior work I've been doing on earth. And that's the imagery I was shown. It's like, this is what Veronica Blu-ray, that is my maiden form. And early this morning, I embodied her. I was shown this image I actually received months ago, and she came to me and said, you're the divine mother of creation now. I was like, what? I was going into this phase to embody, to ground into the physical, the divine mother of creation. She didn't mention the cosmic egg, but here she is holding this. Looks like a heart. But today, it was shown to me as the cosmic egg. And then I was led to this, and I was told I could read this for everyone so you can understand the energy of the cosmic egg, because many of you, divine feminines, and yes, you have to be presenting as feminine, as a female, because they work together. It works together, okay? And it's not to say that physical males aren't balanced with the divine feminine energy, but again, a washing machine and a dryer are not the same thing. They may look a little similar, but they're not, okay? So we're going to read about the cosmic egg. The divine feminine, who is she? The cosmic egg is the core symbol of the divine feminine's creative force. It is a spiritual motif found in the creation myths of countless cultures and civilizations. It represents a birth, a new beginning, or an expansion of life. In the Rig Veda, one of the older texts in any Indo-European language, the cosmos is described as a golden egg-shaped womb. The entire universe is said to have emerged from it. I remember reading that in the Vedas. In Greek mythology, the Orphic egg hatched the primordial, is that H-E-R? Hermaphrodite deity, who then created all the gods and the goddesses. It is depicted as an egg with a serpent wrapped 3 times around it. Okay, I've seen that image on one of those shows when I used to watch TV, like one of those Discovery History things. Yeah, I remember seeing that. In Egyptian, Chinese, and Polynesian mythologies, among many others, creation begins with an egg. And in the Christian tradition, Mary Magdalene used the egg to describe how life begins again after death. In modern cosmology, it is believed that 13 billion years ago, the entire mass of the universe was compressed into a gravitational singularity, the so-called cosmic egg. And from that singularity, the universe has expanded ever since to its current state and continues in this movement to expand ever further. It's like the Big Bang Theory, but that has been disproven. And the whole 13 billion years, I don't buy into. It talks about selecting this card, so I guess it has to do with a tarot card. I don't know. This is Divine Sanctuary. I was just told this is the one that shows the correct explanation of the cosmic egg. Nothing needs to happen. Everything's exactly as it should be. You hold the universe inside you. All life emerges from within. If you try to exert pressure for something to exist before it is ready, that new life within you won't have time if it needs to won't have the time it needs to fully form. Sorry, I can't see straight. The cosmic egg is the essence of the divine feminine. It is the ultimate symbol of the creative force that exists within each one of us. It's the dark, loving womb that holds the products, womb that holds and protects all creative expressions of life. I can't change my screen, unfortunately. I tried. If we allow what's within us to emerge in divine timing, which my oversoul calls divine unfoldment, it's an unfolding. Get rid of the word timing. In soul time, krios, then what's within us will transform us. The egg is the trust. The egg is to trust what, the egg is the trust that what is ours. Okay, the egg is to trust that what is ours can never be taken from us. So there's no need to answer the ego's push to rush the process, to impress others, or to complete something on someone else's timeline. The egg is the faith that our process is sacred, that even in the midst of what looks like chaos or delay or even death, that has a lot to do with what we're going through right now, right? Chaos, delay, or even death. There's a tendril of new life that needs only our trust to eventually take form. And the egg is the knowing that life begins again after death from within. Okay, I know it's a horrible reading. I can't fix my screen so I could actually see what's going on. That, and I'm dealing with all these energies. I'm cross-eyed. So I'll put the link in the description below. Make sure you read it. So that goes with the whole cosmic egg, and I just shared my evolution, my next evolution, which is the divine mother of the triple goddess. And then I was told the crone part will come later. So I'll be completing that in this lifetime. And the divine mother part of me is the creative part of me, which again, the divine masculine is creative also. Okay. But you can't, no matter how hard they try, you need the egg. Okay. You can rip it out of the divine feminine's womb, but you still need the divine feminine. They're trying to erase that to undo God. Not going to happen. So, yeah, that's the phase I'm in with the creation, and it starts now. Apparently, it starts now, which is fantastic. And the crone end is when I complete that phase and I go into mentorship. So I don't know when that is. Again, it's about divine unfoldment. I'm going to try to guess. So it's about allowing, again, guys. That's what I mean about staying in your lane. I stay in my lane. I'm not trying to push anything. I'm not looking for trouble, as I put it. I ain't looking for trouble. I just surrender to the process. And does it get horrible sometimes? Yeah. Like I said yesterday, I didn't even know how I was going to make it through the day, but I had no choice. You know, it was, sure, I had it, not that I had no choice. I had a choice. I could have left work. But if I left work, it's a life or death situation. You're part of a team. If I would leave work, we're already short-staffed. people, a lot of accidents happened over New Year's. So if I left work, then what? What's going to happen to the team that's there? I will allow myself to be removed from the situation, which I pray to God is now, because then I know the universe will usher somebody else in to take my place. You see what I'm saying? That's the one thing. I never want to leave a void where, it'll cause chaos and harm to others, but I'm more than ready to go. I don't hang on to anything. It's about being the conscious observer. So that's the way I look at things. So I'm just putting it out there. I'm suggesting it. I'm sorry. I know it's a bit wonky. I'm trying my best to hold myself together. You have to understand, I'm going through this process as I'm trying to help others go through the process too. Alrighty. So check out my website and especially my blog, divineyoungsouls.blogspot.com. Everything's in this link is in the description. Okay. Especially for newbies, go back, and it's a great place to look and start, especially since, social media is trying to erase me from everything. But I was told this was going to happen. So that's why I'm not freaking out over the videos. It's like, oh, it would have been nice, but still, I did my part, and I knew the people I had to reach, I reached with those videos. So if they're gone, they're gone. And yeah, I'm on other platforms, but they're gone there too. They're not on my BitChute either. So it is what it is, y'all. All right. QV out. Much love, guys. Take care.